Okay, we are live. Hi, guys. Let me set up the chat real quick. Um, this live stream is for anyone who feels like they just want to add more happiness to their life. They're looking for more happiness. They don't feel it very much at all and they just want to find more in their life, or they feel happy. If you feel happy sometimes but you just feel like you want more of that, you feel it some of the time but you want to find ways to feel it more of the time. That is what we're going to focus on today. I'm going to give you simple, easy, logical ways that you can understand happiness and find it more in your life by doing certain things. That's what the topic's going to be today. Um, First, for anyone who's joining live with me, I'm going to put a link to join me if you would like to do so. That is now in the chat. Um, Feel free to text your questions, comments, thoughts along with me. I'm going to do this for, I don't know, maybe 20, 30 minutes, um, and then we'll see where it goes. So let's start with this, the idea of finding happiness and shifting your life. I think a lot of us tend to think that that inner work that we do, that work on ourselves, work on our thoughts, work on our beliefs, work on our emotions, that it seems overwhelming or confusing or hard or difficult. And I just want to spend a little time today simplifying that and actually introducing the idea that it doesn't have to be as hard as we make it out to be or as we think it is. Um, so a lot of us tend to think that it's about finding the right ideas. Where am I going to find the insight? Where do I find the good thoughts? Where do I find the positive beliefs? Where do I find the things that can change my life? Those perspectives that can really change my life. And here's what I would say: don't think of it as having to come up with the right thoughts, meaning having to come up and discover the insight that you're looking for, the answers you're looking for, the clarity you're looking for. Um, Instead, see it as all you need to do is create the right mental, emotional environment that will naturally pop the insight, the answers, and the clarity you're looking for. That kind of takes the burden off of it, right? It kind of takes the pressure off yourself. You're not trying to come up with the perfect things or have the perfect thoughts. You're just setting yourself up mentally and emotionally and bringing yourself into a headspace that is that feels good, that is good, a good headspace, and then going about your day floating in good headspaces enough where those ideas that are going to change your life, from the smallest things to the biggest things, the inspiration that you're going to get, the insights that you're going to pop, will happen naturally. It'll happen organically. It'll happen by itself. And this way, it's allowing yourself to sort of enjoy the ride more than you might be doing now. Like, the idea of finding happiness doesn't have to be a grind, and it doesn't have to be a hustle. And in fact, sometimes when we try to push it or force it, um, as anyone who has tried that in the past probably knows, it's not as effective. It doesn't work as well as when we just are enjoying life. And so, my whole idea of how to find happiness is to enjoy life more, because it's logically good for us to do that. And it's logically very helpful for us to do that. Um, so, good headspaces. I want to talk about that for a minute. Good headspaces are key to finding the happiness that we want, because they include so many of the uh, benefits and advantages in our life that help us move forward. So when we're in good headspaces, we get good ideas, we get clear thinking, we get insights and epiphanies, we get more perspectives. I talk about this a lot in on this live stream, but it's important to remember and remind yourself of those things so that when you're faced in your day with a choice of, am I going to dwell on this problem that I have, or am I going to allow myself to relax? Am I going to push myself to do this thing, or am I going to allow myself to take a break? Am I going to, we're faced with choices all day long. And I think often we make the choice to do the thing that we think will eventually get us happy instead of the one that allows us to find that happiness now. But finding the happiness now is what unlocks the good headspaces that end up getting you to where you want to be, whether that's goals and dreams that you have, whether that's more connection with yourself, whether that's more belief in yourself and your dreams, whether that is, whatever it is that is your goal. So it's about, think of it as you're trying to cultivate and create the right headspace environment. You want to just get in good headspaces so that as you go about your day, you naturally you're seeing opportunities more, you're coming up with answers more easily, you're thinking of cool things to say or cool things to do, all of that. So maybe that is as simple as walking away from a frustrating project for a while. Maybe it could be as simple as grabbing your favorite tea or coffee on your way to work. It could be as simple as saying yes to a dinner party, even though you should be working that night. It could be as easy as letting yourself take breaks, or going on a hike, or riding your bike, or doing fun things when it feels good to do them. And so this is why I say that improving your life isn't work, or at least it doesn't have to feel like work, because the work is not really work. The work is going easy on yourself. The work is relaxing more. The work is playing more. The work is laughing more. The work is having more fun. The work is taking more breaks, the work is doing more hobbies that you enjoy. The work is spending more time the way you want to spend that time. That's the work. That's inner work. And the reason that it works, and this is coming from someone, I used to have anxiety for many years. I dealt with daily anxiety that interfered with me enjoying my life. I was on medication. I was in therapy. I would get panic attacks. I wasn't letting myself do this because I didn't know. I wasn't thinking about it. So this is one of the key pieces that helped me get rid of my anxiety. And I'm coming up on 6 years without it, which is very exciting. But this is one of the main pieces, and like keeping the headspaces in mind that we're in, and then knowing that there are beneficial ones and advantageous ones, and then allowing ourselves to do things that keep us floating in those headspaces as much as possible. That's what we're talking about. So creating the environment. So on the board behind me, I have sort of I've mentioned this before, I think in a different stream recently, but this is how thoughts logically evolve. We have a thought, positive or negative, and then we have an emotional reaction to that thought, positive or negative. If we have a positive thought, we have a positive emotion. If we're getting thoughts that feel fun, we're going to feel fun. If we get thoughts that feel, shame, then we're going to feel shame. Like that's just how the mind works. That's how thoughts and emotions work. So we get thoughts, and as we continue to think those thoughts, that turns into, over time, the words we use, the language we use, the way we talk about ourselves, the way we talk about situations. Um, and then, of course, that turns into eventually actions that we take, the choices we make, the things that we end up doing. And all of these things, our thoughts, our words, our actions, all of them end up getting manifested results, good or bad, good and bad. And so these are all the things that you can think, if you broaden out like how you're living your life, these are the components of what we all do in our life. We're either thinking about things, or we're talking about things, or we're doing things. That kind of encompasses almost everything except for sleep. But get good sleep too. I could put that up there too. But so I want to talk about how each of these phases, things that we can do to stay in good headspaces using each of these. So first one is thoughts and emotions. So something we can do for that is let ingest positive content. That's a great way to do this. Like, we're taking in so much in our day. We're taking in so much from the people around us, to the media we consume, to the books we read, to the social media we're scrolling. Like, we're taking in so much content. Specifically, if you know that, and that content is affecting us, good and bad, positive and negative. So make sure that you pay attention to the quality of the content and allow yourself to absorb more positive content, and purposely select more positive content to listen to and take in, because it'll help your thoughts. If you're listening to encouraging information, that's going to help your thoughts be better. That's going to put you in good mind headspaces. If you're listening to a an encouraging, positive, uplifting, supportive podcast or live stream, you're getting then you're thinking on positive wavelengths. You're accessing good headspaces. And remember, that's all you need, is like accessing good headspaces, which will then get cool results. Next, another thing you can do for this stage, the thoughts, emotions space, is meditation. That's a great activity to use for this. By the way, I usually see on my side, when I do these live streams, I usually see a little indicator of how many people are watching, but I don't have that right now. So I don't even know if this is actively going or not. If you are live watching, give me a little note in the comments. Say hi, just so I know that you're here, because I can't tell if people are, or if this is actually live streaming or not. So feel free to jump in, say hi. Meditation is another great way to create the right mental environment for yourself that will lead to positive growth, positive results, positive thoughts, positive shifts in your perspective and beliefs. That's a great tool in the toolbox to use. And then another thing, I mean, they're endless. I'm just going to list some of them, which is another one is visualization, using your thoughts, your mind, to visualize your future in positive ways, like thinking about what your dreams and goals are, imagining yourself reaching them. See, how does that feel? Allowing yourself to feel the sensations of reaching those goals and dreams. All of that is very, very helpful, and tuning your mind in the right on the right mental, emotional wavelengths, so that you can see the results you're looking for. The next piece is the words we use, and a great tool for that area is positive self-talk. I'll write that down. Positive Positive self-talk. Another one is affirmations. I should put that down too. Affirmations. But positive self-talk is so helpful because you're reinforcing positive, supportive, encouraging um, uh, stories and beliefs. You're telling we can tell ourselves anything. That's the cool thing. Like people think that or forget, and this is not something I thought about in the years that I had anxiety. It's like we forget that we have the ability to tell ourselves things. We don't have to just think thoughts that we get from the outside. We can also purposely, intentionally, consciously tell ourselves certain things. And when we do, our life changes because what we think, whatever stories we're telling ourselves, whether it's a good or a bad story, it our our mind has to make that true. So if you feel like you're a loser, or if you feel like you are, you know, uh, you're not good enough, then you're going to find evidence. Your mind is going to make that true by finding evidence that supports that belief, that thought, that story. And so finding purposely talking positively to yourself is super helpful to put you in the right mental environments so that you can find the cool results that you deserve and that you're looking for, whatever that is. Again, it's just about accessing the headspace, accessing good headspaces and floating in them and carrying them as often as you can. And it's not about doing this all the time, but just regularly enough to see real benefits. And then finally, actions. What are something that you can do action wise that can help you find and access these good quality headspaces that will help you in so many ways? Um, the best way I know how to do this is just basically like live your free life, but I like to call it living a feel good lifestyle, your feel good lifestyle specifically. So live your live your feel good lifestyle. Um, it and when I say that, I mean do things that you like, do things that you enjoy more often, do things that make you happy, follow your heart, follow your fun, follow your passions, follow your excitement, follow what calls you, do what's interesting to you, do the things that fascinate you, pull on those threads when you catch something that draws your curiosity, anything that feels good. Relax on purpose, find peaceful moments on purpose, say yes to things that you want to do. Equally important, say no to things that you don't want to do. Um, so all of those things, like do this more and more. And if you're not used to doing this, do it in little pieces, do it in little chunks, like do it in small steps to show yourself, oh, I don't have to, I have the ability to take a break when I want to, go for a walk when I want to, decide to stop somewhere and grab something if that's helpful to me or if that's calling me. Like really giving yourself the freedom to make choices, especially the small ones, that help you feel like you're adding some enjoyment to your life. Because remember, enjoying life means you access the good headspaces, and that will result in all the things that you want. The insight coming to you, the clarity on things coming to you. If you have problems that you're dealing with and you don't know how to solve them, if you want good perspectives or good thoughts on how to shift those things or fix those problems or find solutions, like that's going to happen from the good headspaces that you access. So doing all of these things, and literally any one of these things will help, but if you do all of them, like you're really setting yourself up for very consistent good headspaces, and therefore very consistent ideas coming to you, and new perspectives coming to you, and having more bandwidth to deal with the shit that you might be dealing with, and finding more energy, finding more internal inspiration to do things that you want to do. Every single one of these. So this covers, like, if you listen to and absorb positive content in your day, if you meditate in your day, if you visualize your future, uh, like each, even if it's just 30 seconds or a minute, that's so helpful to you. If you talk to yourself, if you practice positive self talk, if you live your feel good lifestyle and do more things that you want, that means you're thinking, saying, and doing things that will help you get this, create this positive mental environment that will sprout naturally and logically and organically sprout the kinds of ideas, the kinds of inspiration that you can then move on to help you find whatever it is, movement towards goals, achieving dreams, finding happiness. That's the main thing. That's the big win. Um, it'll lead to everything else. So if you're looking to find more happiness, this is how. It's doing things like this. Um, I I that kind of covers the main things I wanted to talk about today. If you have any comments or questions, if you're watching live, I can't see that you are, so apologies. But text something in the chat if you have any comments or questions or want to jump on with me. Otherwise, I'll wrap up here. But the last thing I guess I'll say about this is this is very easy. This is a very easy self practice to do. Like you can do all of these things. You can listen to positive content. Just, you can change the algorithm on your YouTube or on your on whatever platform you're looking for. You just like watch more things that are lighthearted, positive, happy, optimistic, and either watch less of anything negative or get rid of negative things. Say, I don't want to see any more of this. And the algorithm will keep showing you your new, updated, more beneficial, more lighthearted, more positive content. You can essentially shift your algorithm to help you in this journey of finding more happiness. So you could do that on your own. You can meditate on your own. You can visualize on your own. You can practice positive self-talk on your own. You can enjoy your life more on purpose on your own. And so this is a very beneficial self-practice, and I highly encourage it. You could start now. You could start today. You could start right this second. As soon as I wrap up, choose something that feels like nice to you, whether that's reading a book or watching a show or playing a game or doing a puzzle or like hanging out with your pets or going for a bike ride or whatever that is. That's probably going to be mine. But for anyone who just struggles with self-practice, just doesn't know exactly, it feels like it would be helpful to be guided, feels like it would be helpful to work with someone on that. That's what I do. This is what I do. So if that's something that interests you, visit my website, chrisnewth.com. I'll put it on the screen. You could also sign up for my EQ newsletter. It's completely free. That will give you information on how to understand your emotions in simple, easy, common sense ways so that you can make cool shifts and changes in your life. It's not as hard as people make it out to be. I've helped many people do this on their and I've helped people with anxiety, with depression, with like massive self-judgment issues. Like everyone, it's a matter of understanding what your emotions are telling you so that everything feels more manageable and feels more understandable, and then exactly what to do to help you. I have a few programs on my website. You can also sign up for coaching programs. I have a 4-week EQ mastery program where I teach you within the course of a month all of the cornerstone elements of just mastering a rock solid foundation of emotional intelligence so that you can use that in your own life and find the happiness you deserve, find the movement towards your goals and dreams that you deserve. It's possible for all of us to do that. It just takes the right ideas and it takes the right perspectives. And that just takes doing things like this. So feel free to sign up on my website. The newsletter is totally free. You can sign that up as part of your self-practice if that's what you're looking for. And I think that's it for me today, guys. I hope that this airs because I don't even see that it is. But But until next time, I hope you enjoy your week. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you